Vasseur, great to see you, and season's greetings. And it was a fine season for Ferrari. The team is on a great trajectory. So there will be great optimism for 2025. Would it be a reasonable hope and expectation that Ferrari can challenge for both championships, drivers and constructors?
Ferrari's 2025 season is shaping up to be their most intense yet. And with Lewis Hamilton joining the team, their championship hopes are at an all-time high. Will they finally break through and challenge for the title? Check this video out to uncover all the critical details and what's really driving their strategy this season.
Yeah, but first of all, it's true that we did a good 2024 season, but at least much better than 2023. Everything is going on the right direction, and reliability, pit stop strategy, number of points scored during the season, something like plus 60%, number of wins. We are going on the right direction, but the most important is the last step. And we missed the title for 14 points. It's not in Abu Dhabi that we missed something. I think it's much before. And it's true that if you want to fight next year for the championship, you have to do everything perfect. The fight will be tight between the four teams. I'm sure that Mercedes and Red Bull will be back. McLaren will be still there. And it means that we have to improve where we were a bit weak this season and to fine-tune this.
Yeah. The driver's title, though, there will be a hope that you can fight for that as well. If you can give them the car, a competitive car, can both your drivers next year beat Verstappen, do you sense?
Yeah, but if you have a look this season, I think Charles scored the biggest number of points after Monza or something like this. I mean that when we started to react and starting to do a better job on our side, it means that everything is possible. It's just a matter to put everything together, to minimize the number of mistakes. It's true that on the season, the long season, 24 events, that we have always up and down. But what is positive for us is that we had a tough journey around June, July. And as a team, we were able to react and to react quickly, and this is encouraging for the future.
Okay.
It's great to see a team bounce back like that, especially after a tough mid-season. But the real question is, can anyone truly match Verstappen's level of focus and precision? We saw this season how even the slightest slip-up can cost a race, but Max rarely makes those errors. The other teams will have to bring everything they've got to even stand a chance against his consistency. Can they improve enough to really challenge him over a full season? Or is Verstappen's reign far from over?
There's great excitement in Britain. I'm sure there is over here as well.
Everywhere.
Everywhere in the world that we'll see Lewis Hamilton in red. What's planned for his first day here in Maranello? It's such a special place.
But it's not because it's Lewis that we have to do differently. It means that he will come with his own experience, with the own background, and but we don't have to change the approach. It means that I'm sure that Lewis understands this perfectly, and we will have the first test days with TPC and Pirelli, and then the launch of the car, the launch of the championship first on the 18th, and then the launch of the car the 19th, and then we'll go directly to Bahrain, and it will be a tough sequence until Melbourne, but it's true that it's a short preparation, and because that we have something like 4 weeks at the factory before the first event, but it is like it is. And
it's a special moment driving that red car for the first time.
Yeah,
Will
I think it's
a
bit
for him. Most
probably
likely?
yes, but we are dependent of the weather. It's not easy in January. Yeah, it's true that it's quite emotional because I think he has this moment in his mind for probably 20 years. That it means that it will be emotional, but it has to be emotional for one lap. That's it.
It's a unique moment for Lewis Hamilton, and Ferrari's approach of treating him like any other driver shows professionalism. The first lap in the red car will certainly be a special one, but after that, it's all about focusing on the work ahead. With testing, car launches, and the early season races coming up quickly, it'll be crucial for him to adjust fast. Ferrari has a lot of expectations, and with the limited prep time, every second counts for Hamilton to get comfortable and competitive in the car.
Fair enough.
And then to be focused.
Wow, you've got your mind on the business, and so has he. What will it be like for him to acclimatise to Ferrari? This is what was it like for you? Maybe do you have a perspective on that?
Yeah, but I think this is quite easy. You know that every single team is different for sure, but we are all chasing the same goal with the same approach. And so what is a bit different is the passion or the emotion around the team, but I think Lewis is well prepared to manage this. And I think it's much easier to arrive somewhere when the passion is at the top than the opposite. You know, that it's, I'm not worried at all.
Okay. There were a lot of stories about will he be staying here at the factory or so. Yeah. Does that kind of thing really matter or not?
Not at all. Yeah. Not at all. That for me doesn't matter where he's staying. That most important is the performance, and I don't care when he's putting the motorhome or which hotel he's staying at.
Fair enough. What he does bring is the 7 championships, 105 race victories. How much of an asset is that coming here? I suppose it puts not pressure, but an impetus on the race team because they know what he can do.
Yeah, but we are in the situation that we are fighting for details. That average on the grid, the car in front of us is 300 of seconds faster. At the end, you are fighting for 14 points in the championship. It's one DNF on the season, or it's one strategic decision, or whatever. It means that every single details will make the difference. And Lewis is coming with a huge experience, as you said, a huge experience of championship, of the background from Mercedes, or let's say certitude on himself. And this will help the team to continue to grow up and to do step by step and to improve step by step. Yeah.
With such a storied career, Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari brings a unique dynamic to the team. But how crucial will his experience be in a season where every second and every decision matters? With Red Bull so far ahead, it's the small details that will make the difference. Can Lewis, with his championship pedigree, help Ferrari find those critical improvements, or is the gap too big to close in just one season?
Are there little conversations you've noticed, mechanics excited about his arrival, thinking how they
you said that everybody, all the world is exciting, and for sure the mechanics are also exciting, but because it's also always exciting to have someone who is a 7 times world champion into the car. But I think after the day one, we'll have to turn this page and to be focused on the job.
Take the emotion out of it. Yeah. Okay. Well, the one thing that could inject some emotion is if both your drivers are fighting for the World Championship. That is a happy headache for you if it comes.
Yeah, I prefer to fight for 1-2 than for 19-20. Yes. Okay, this is clear, and I think it's also part of the performance. It's that clearly, you know, the last 2 years I let them race on track, and it was for the benefits of the team. Because that the emulation that we created like this was part of the recovery when we had tough times, and they had a huge respect between them, and we had a good moment this morning with the farewell of Carlos, and it was very nice.
It's understandable that the mechanics and the team as a whole are excited about having a 7-time world champion like Lewis Hamilton on board. However, the real challenge comes when the excitement wears off, and the team must transition back to focusing on performance.
Okay, so you don't foresee any issues that way? No. That's a nice thing
to
manage.
It's part of the performance of the team.
Yeah, okay. Charles is a great qualifier. One of the things Lewis hasn't done so well in the last year is qualify. He's talked about that himself. Do you think just the change of team can maybe fix that issue?
Yeah, but first of all, we are well placed to know that it's on Sunday that you are scoring points. That I think we fell a little bit in 2023 also because that we are probably the best in quali, but we struggle in the race. It means that we have to keep the focus on the race, that we did a decent step forward in 24, but we have to keep this approach. And Charles also, I think, improved a lot on the race management, tire management between 23 and 24. It means that we have to keep the same momentum and the same approach for the next championship.
So it's not an issue in your mind, Lewis is qualifying Saturday for? No. Okay. Just finally then, 26 is a big rule change. You're contenders at the end of this rules set. What about the opportunities for 25 against the demands of 26? How are you as the boss going to balance that?
I think that everybody will be on the grid, will be in the same situation, that we will have to take a decision at one stage of 25 to switch completely on 26. This will depend for sure of the first races, that to see if you are fighting for something or not, and everybody will have the same approach, that everybody will ask the question himself that, okay, that we have to stay on this project or to switch. Let's hope that we'll be in a good position after a couple of events.
Well, Fred, I do wish you well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We look forward to what should be a special year. And let's hope, 25 is going to be very exciting here at Ferrari with a very special British driver in tow now.
Ferrari's progress in race management is evident. But what does that mean for their qualifying performance in 2025? With Hamilton joining the team, the expectation is that they will have an experienced driver capable of turning his qualifying form around. But will Ferrari's car and strategy adjustments be enough to help him regain that sharp qualifying edge? The team's solid race day strategy could complement Lewis's skills, but can they balance their strong Sunday performances with better Saturday results? Will this adaptation be the missing link in Ferrari's quest for a competitive title run?